Oh, shit. Here we go again.
A monument is an ideal. Memorial is a memorial of something that really happened in life.
Damn. It's
Could
real.
have been the first black guy in space. Is that my fate that I'll be remembered for that? For something that I didn't do.
Damn.
Think about that one. How the hell you get famous for something you didn't do?
Shit, whatever. They turned him into a supervillain.
Will rest burdens heavier than have rested on the shoulders of any president since the time of Lincoln.
In the 60s, there was a lot of tension, incredible amount of tension. In 1959, the first 7 astronauts were appointed by Eisenhower. 7 guys that had become immortal by proclamation only. The way the story goes, the Kennedy White House said, we satisfy our black community by making a black astronaut. 1 black guy on a Wheaties box.
Ooh, so one dude gotta go in there with all them white boys and try to prove that he deserved to go to space.
Okay, but how do you make an astronaut? I was born in Kansas City in 1933. I wanted to be an artist. My dad said, no. You're gonna go to engineering school. You're gonna be an engineer.
Good job, Dad.
All the pilots, the good pilots, the aces, they all grew up on farms. Every one of them. We lived on a farm. And
Hey, you notice how the white kids and the black kids are together in these pictures? And it's way back there, like in the 30s?
the Fairfax Airport was within walking distance. I didn't know where these airplanes had been when they came and landed, and I didn't know where the hell they were going when they took off. But it had to be exciting. I did get the flying bug. I was down here every day. I became their mascot. I'd hang out in the maintenance jacks, and I'd hand the guys the tools. And after a while, I said, why don't you just take me up? Immediately, when you can see past the horizon, you say, oh my God. All of a sudden, your world expands to this bigger and bigger and bigger space. That whole expanse of stuff, you get even more curious about it. You know, where were we here, and what part did we play, and what, if anything, can we do about it? I was probably 18, and I had a paper out for the white newspaper, and I had a paper out for the black newspaper. On the front page of my black newspaper was a black jet pilot standing on the wing of an F-86 Sabre jet.
Man, he looked like a superhero. I might have wanted to fly too. Damn. They didn't see very many black men doing major stuff. So, he was from Krypton up in that mud.
My world about exploded. Oh my God. They're letting black folks fly airplanes. I almost stopped throwing papers that minute. I went straight to the Air Force recruiting office. By the time I got to be upper class, I got all these stripes on my arm. I had my own office. I was an officer all the way through the whole thing. And lo and behold, I get this letter, all the Pentagon trapping, all this stuff on it, direction of the president, opportunity to be an astronaut. So I took it to my boss, and he said, tear it up. You don't ain't part of that, man. They're gonna make hamburger out of you down there, buddy. Ed, stick with us. You got a career. You're gonna be a general. You have a family here. So leave it alone. But my curiosity overwhelmed me. So I secretly sent this, all my information in. And within days, not weeks, months, years, I got an assignment to go to Edwards Air Force Base for me to enter experimental test pilot school.
So do you think his boss was hating? Like he didn't want him to go, or he didn't want him to advance that far? Or was he looking out like, dog, you gonna be a general if you stay here? Back then, I don't know. It's crazy.
There was a Kennedy boy. That's the term they use, a Kennedy boy. I knew full well when I got on the base that it wasn't going to be a cakewalk. It seems like every street at Edwards Air Force Base is named after a dead test pilot.
Damn.
Every time I strap that airplane on my behind, I don't know when I'm coming back. And on top of that, I was told Chuck Yeager, the guy that was running the whole damn school, had called the students and the instructor staff into the auditorium and said, here's our plan. Don't talk to him. Don't socialize with him. Don't drink with him. Don't invite him to your parties. Just ignore him like he doesn't exist. And in 6 months, he'll be gone. Because that'll psychologically break him. He'll quit.
Wow. Chuck. Real American hero. Set him up. That's what they had to go through, but he's still getting busy.
And so they set about doing that. That's Chuck Yeager. My dad had issues in his work world. Whether you're a baseball star like he was or whatever you did, I mean, you still suffer the ravages of prejudice. And they would go on these rants. All white men are the worst people in the world, and they'll stab you in the back. But my mother had the last word. Don't pay any attention to what your dad said. All people are equal. And those are the last words I heard every day until I was 18 years old. You can teach your brain to help you, or you can teach your brain to destroy you. And your brain will react to what it's been told. Every day of my life, my mother told me how much she loved me and how I could do anything in the universe. I don't care what it was, you have the ability to do that as long as you're prepared for it. That removed any other force coming into my space plane. But if I had all this other trash running around in my head, I wouldn't be able to do any of that kind of stuff. They were announcing names to go into the second phase of it. And of course, that next level moved you on to NASA, which was the third thing. Just graduated from test pilot school, and we're all vying for a spot. So, guess who's not quitting? Captain Ed Dwight.
A 29-year-old Negro says he's anxious to go into space. He's Captain Edward Dwight of the...
Hey, did that sound weird to hear the newscaster say the 29-year-old Negro? It just made it felt like he said the 29-year-old nigger. But he didn't. I wonder how many times back then did they have 40 and slip up.
Air Force, selected to be an astronaut, the first of his race to be so designated. Captain Dwight and his family got the news at their home at Edwards Air Force Base in California.
And of course, that was hot news. I mean, really, really hot news. The place was packed. The press came out from D.C. Like cameras were everywhere. And all these photographers on me, and they had one to cover all the rest of them. Immediately, I was getting 1,500 fan mails a day, and I was on the cover of all these magazines around the world. See, I was being handled out of the White House. So everywhere I went, I was bombarded with it. There was a lot of unhappy people about this. There's a black guy that can do this. Oh, God, you gotta be kidding. Kennedy boy. All that nonsense. Couldn't give it a parking space in my brain. We were in bioastronautics training at Brooks. They were trying to figure out how far they could take a person and break them. I mean, they did everything they could possibly do. They'd stick needles in your head and then introduce these waves. centrifuge training. A lot of guys couldn't handle that. I mean, they take up to 15 Gs. Of course, your tear ducts close and the tears creep over to here, and they're like bullets. When they hit your ears, that thing is so fast. God, I just ate that up. I really enjoyed it. It was just absolutely fabulous. The happy ending of this thing
5, 4, 3,
was being going into space.
1, 0.
He worked hard, man. He working hard.
The happy ending of this thing
5, 4, 3,
was being going into space.
1, 0.
We'd like to introduce the new group of 14 astronauts that we've been in the process of selecting for about the last 4 months.
Was there a Negro boy in the last 30 or so that you brought here for consideration?
No, there was not.
Man, this dude is a captain in the Air Force. He would do whatever them fools wouldn't do. Damn near smart like Einstein. And got balls of steel. And they still calling him boy and denied that he was even there.
They were announcing a new group of astronauts. And I wasn't in that group. A month or so later, Kennedy's been assassinated.
Are you now, in fact, completely out of the astronaut program?
Why aren't you an astronaut? Do you feel that
Because
what happened to
JFK
you
gone.
was a setback for civil rights opportunities in this country?
No, I would rather not comment on that.
I resigned in '66, loaded my Volkswagen to the brim, and drove off the base. You know, God, I don't want to get emotional. I mean, that was tough.
Damn. Made OG cry, man. I feel you, homie.
Next question.
I was supposed to sit on the couch with Rachel, but I went to prison. You know how fine Rachel was. On BET.
If I had just receded into nothingness, it would have been all well and good with everybody else, because that's how things are supposed to happen. I would have loved going into space, you know, had this thing all worked out that way. That choice was snatched away from me, so why bother about it, you know? I have to attribute that to some kind of fate. Well, maybe there's some more work for me to do. Maybe my fate was I had to bring the African-American story to the public venue. And so I started building things, making things. 129. I've completed 129 memorials since I've done this, and over 18,000 gallery pieces.
He got to be what he wanted. That artist. He told his daddy.
A monument is an ideal, but a memorial is a memorial of something that really happened in life. How do you go from slavery to freedom and accomplishment? What happened? Harriet Tubman, George Washington Carver, Rosa Parks, Sojourner Truth, Dr. King, B.B. King, Dizzy Gillespie, Miles Davis, step by step by step by step. A guy on Bluford. First African-American man in space.
It could have been you, dog. Man, that story is sad, but it's also, man, kind of inspiring and uplifting. But still, man, I want to sock them fools. But I hope you guys took something from that and understand that you can always reinvent yourself. I've done it a bunch of times. Hell, I'm doing it right now. So help me and go over to YouTube and hit that like and subscribe for me so I can get in that algorithm and become a YouTube sensation. Hey, and the main thing that will never change, we all neighbors. I'm out of here. Peace.
Screw this, I'm going home.